Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal, they're talking about movies. And you know they are really groovy. Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal talking about movies. Two guys and a gal, they're talking about movies. And we know they are really groovy.
Hello, hello. We are very groovy and we are here to talk about movies. We are going to be ranking and discussing our favorite John Wayne movies. Yes, that's right. He's iconic. We love him. When you think of westerns, you think of John Wayne. When you think of cowboys, you think of John Wayne. When you think of famous actors, you think of John Wayne. And I would argue when you think of America, you think of John Wayne. So he really needs no other introduction. He's made so many movies, and that's why it was very, very hard for your guys and for me to sort of narrow down the ones we wanted to talk about. But to help us through the process, we have Rory, who was caught unawares. And that's why you're up first, because you were making a face. And
Yeah.
Manny Zamora. That's why I brought Rory up first, because Rory was caught unawares, and it was fun. It was
I was
fun.
picking some trail mix out of my teeth.
Yeah, same. That's what I was. So Manny Zamora and Rory, and I forgot to say because you made the face. Rory, the man of 1,013,000,013 voices now. Fantastic.
1001 proves the point.
Just keeps going up.
I'm going to call myself the man of 1001 voices now because everybody else. There's like 3 other guys on social media that call themselves the man of 1,000 voices. I'd like to see them prove it.
I like
Right?
you proved it. You
proved it exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just to be different. I'm going to call myself the man of 1,001 voices. I'm going to pull a Walmart on them.
There you
think
go.
You should do 1,013 or 7. You should pull a weird one. Just make it weird. Make it weird, Rory.
Make it weird.
1,001. I can't do that, Dave. I'm sorry.
There you go.
So here we are. We're here to talk about
Here we are.
the man, the myth, the legend, and
the myth.
Manny
right.
stole his hat. Manny actually
The Duke.
stole.
That's
that
right.
hat.
That's right.
Yeah, the Duke. That's right. He's called the Duke. So
That's right.
Manny, you chose
Marion.
the Duke. And
Marion Morrison.
Well, don't call him that. Don't let him hear you call him that.
Don't let him call.
He'll
Don't ever
slug ya.
call him Marion.
I'm not gonna hit you. The hell I'm not.
You know what? I thought that was the quote until today. I watched that bit.
What did he really say?
It's not gonna be me. Well, the hell I won't. He hits him. Yeah, for the longest time I thought that. And there was another quote.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
Where he says, she says, "You're comfortable," and he goes, I always thought the quote was, "I've been called a lot of dirty names in my time, but I've never been called comfortable." But he doesn't say that either. So I sent those clips to Renee. I don't know if she's going to be able to play them today, but we'll see.
Oh, you sent me clips?
I did.
I don't remember any clips. I'll go find them.
Look in the group.
Where are they? Oh, in the group. In the group. Okay.
Yes. It's just links.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a professional show. We know exactly what we're doing at all times.
Except that we're eating trail mix and or
we're eating trail mix.
And those
and I'm not even wearing a cowboy hat. I'm not even going to pretend this is a cowboy hat anymore. It's just a hat. But I look damn good in it.
It's a Strother Martin hat.
It's a
I said that last week. And he's in a couple of John Wayne movies.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's in McClintock.
Yep. What we got here is a failure to communicate.
That's it.
That's his famous
little Cool Hand Luke there.
Famous line from Cool Hand Luke. Yeah,
we have not done Paul Newman yet.
No, we have not, and we will. He's on my list somewhere for the future.
All right.
Yeah, because I want to mix it up. I want to have some like classic, old school, golden age, like Wayne and other people.
Yeah.
Robert Mitchum, Henry Fonda, Burt Lancaster.
It's what's for dinner.
Yeah. Beef. Yeah, he was the original voice of meat till he died, and then he was replaced with Sam Elliott, who also has another that rich, deep voice that I envy so much.
Yeah. I can only do that in the morning when I'm sick. That voice.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I gotta be
That's when my voice gets deep enough to where I
get
could
that
do.
get that right. Yeah,
There's the
exactly.
dude. Yep.
Yep.
So I dressed up like John Wayne last week. So I was like, how am I going to top that? And I was watching the movies today and I go, hey, I've got those suspenders. So I put
you look
together
like
a cavalry costume today. Very quickly.
Straight out of She Wore a Yellow Ribbon or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although the hat's kind of more Andy Devine.
Fort Apache.
Fort Apache.
The hat's what?
Yeah. More Andy Devine.
Yeah, Andy Devine.
There you go.
He's one of those impressions I do that nobody knows how I'm doing.
Except old people like me.
Well, I'm gonna ride this here stagecoach.
It could also be, Chill Wills. It could be Walter Brennan.
Walter Brittany.
Ken.
Did you say Walter Brittany?
Yep. Yeah. He was prominent in some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Luke.
I love him. I love him as the bad guy, as the not McClellan.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The support your local sheriff or support your local gunfighter. I can't remember which one it was. I think it's support your local gunfighter.
That one. And actually, I was thinking of the Henry Fonda movie. Darling Clementine.
Okay.
Where he was the bad guy. He was the dad to all the people going, wound up at the OK Corral and all that. That was,
we didn't mention those James Garner westerns last week, and
no,
we should have because they were really funny.
Yeah,
with
support
Jack
your local
Elam.
gunfighter.
I'm dressed as Jack Elam.
There you go. Except your eyes aren't quite as aren't all over the place. Jack Elam and Marty Feldman had the best eyes in the business.
And there's
Damn your
one of
eyes.
them, I think it's support your local gunfighter. There's a woman that has a little yellow chihuahua, and one of the characters says, "If you don't come out there and shoot at me, I'm gonna call you a yellow dog." And the little dog goes, it's a little growl. Just little stuff like that throughout those movies just made them really great.
Yeah.
So, but we're here to talk about the Duke.
That's right. Yeah.
And the reason they called him the Duke was because in some of his early movies, his name was Duke. The Two-Fisted Law was the first one he was Duke in. Then he was Duke Slade in Adventure's End. And he actually played a character called Stony Brooks in about 8 movies early on in his career. I believe those were all cheap Republic westerns.
Yeah.
But it brought him up to fame,
Yeah. And he was almost Marshall Dillon in Gunsmoke, but he turned it down because he was a big movie star, and I'm not gonna demean myself by. But he did introduce the very first episode.
But ironically, since you mentioned that, James Arnaz is in several of his movies in the 50s.
Yeah,
usually as a secondary character in the film.
Well, that's why he endorsed him. Literally endorsed him when he.
Well, look at this guy. He's tall.
I think you're gonna like this.
He's as tall as I am.
Yeah.
I'm doing
so, yeah.
And Ken Curtis actually sings in one of the movies with the Sons of the Pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Curtis, of course, was fastest on Gunsmoke. Now listen up here, Matthew. But he actually had a beautiful baritone voice.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't sound anything like that, but that was the character he created, I guess, when he.
That's the thing about
auditioned for the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was in The Alamo, and I guess other movies as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the Duke. A little bit controversial for some of his political views, but it is what it is, and people have opinions, and he was
a big fan of Reagan, right?
He was a big fan of Reagan. Yeah, he was a very staunch conservative back in the day. In fact, he notorious. I don't remember the exact quote, but something about, well, what do you want? You want us to give the country back to the Indians? I'm like, oh, okay.
So that's why they always cast Italians as the Indian chiefs in those movies.
I think so. Yeah.
Michael Pate, I'm going to mention later in my dishonorable mention, Michael Pate did a horrible job. He's in 2 Wayne movies that I watched today or this weekend.
Mhm.
One of them was Hondo, which was later remade as Shame, Shane 2 years later, basically. It's the same damn movie. It's just Alan Ladd instead of John Wayne.
Yeah.
And then he was in McClintock, and he was great in McClintock. He was much better, you know. It wasn't so corny,
Yeah.
his performance, the speeches. I guess a director makes a difference sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. Well, let's pick our top 5. Mine are not really any particular order because they all, a lot of them are kind of like the same. It's just like, okay, different shirt, but some of them are cavalry. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, there are a few that are not Westerns. So go ahead. I went first last week. You go ahead and tell me your number 1.
All right. Well, before I do that, I just want to say that I had a hard time deciding, do I do all Westerns? Do I mix it up? So at the 11th hour, I decided, no, I'm just going to do all Westerns. So, but my honorable mentions has some of his other movies.
Yeah.
You know, that his non-Westerns and some of his war movies and so on.
Again,
Anyway.
only 2 of my picks on my top list and my honorable mention list are not Western. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's what he did, you know, predominantly.
That's what, yeah, exactly.
So
That's known for.
And sometimes when he didn't do it, it was kind of cringeworthy. It was like he should be in a cowboy outfit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll talk about that.
All right. So my number 1 is his Academy Award winning role as Rooster Cogburn in Rooster Cogburn. No. In True Grit, the original.
By the way, we talked about a lot of his movies last week, and I decided to pick movies we didn't talk about last week already. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, True Grit is probably would have been my number 1 on my list too, if we hadn't already talked about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but I felt like, no, I've got to go with True
It's
Grit.
a great performance and a great movie.
Great
Rooster Cogburn, not as much.
Yeah,
and again, we said that last week.
Yeah, it was a remake of the African Queen. That's what it was.
Yeah, in the West.
I mean, same plot, you know, except Wayne instead of Humphrey Bogart.
Same actress.
Yeah.
Rooster Cogburn, you old coot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a fun movie, but I'm like, they had to just rip off the plot of another movie. So anyway, but True Grit.
Maybe in the back of my mind, that's why it's kind of tainted for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It just didn't seem original to me either. It seemed like a cash grab.
Yeah. I think it was like, well, he's an Academy Award winner now. Let's what can we do here? Well, we just haven't played the same character that he won the award for. So, and as far as the plot, what's that movie with Bogart with going down the river? Yeah, that sounds good. Let's just do that.
Hollywood, gotta love them for their originality.
Oh yeah. So, but besides Wayne,
even back then,
even back then. Oh yeah, So besides John Wayne in True Grit, of course, we have a wonderful performance from Kim Darby as Maddie, as the young girl, Glenn Campbell as LaBeef, and a young Robert Duvall as one of the bad guys that Wayne's after. And it's just a terrific movie. The Coen Brothers remake is probably, from what I've read, truer to the book, and it is kind of different from the original, but the original with Wayne is still it's a perennial favorite, and I don't know how many times I've seen it. Even as a young man. I don't think I saw it originally in the theater. but when I did see it on TV or whatever, I was like, yeah, this is why we love John Wayne.
I was a kid when I saw it, and it was on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You just reminded me of a movie we didn't talk about last week that I really think deserves mentioning.
Yeah.
And that's Will Penny, with Chuck Heston. And
Yes.
it has one of the wildest villains in Donald Pleasance playing this crazy preacher. And of course, Bruce Dern is one of his sons. And, that's a crazy Western right there.
Yeah. That's I don't almost forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Monty Walsh,
there's
too.
hundreds of Westerns. Yeah. Monty Walsh.
Monty
Yeah.
Walsh with Lee Marvin is like one of the last cowboys. I mean, that was an interesting movie, too. It deserves mention.
Yeah. Oh, man. We should have done a part 2 to the Western.
Well, in a sense, this is a part 2.
Yeah, except for focusing on one. And I also remember, and again, here we go, off on a tangent, but one of my favorite Westerns is called Red Sun with Toshiro Mifune and Charles Bronson, sort of East meets West Western. And of course, Bronson did a bunch of Westerns as well.
Correct. We mentioned Once Upon a Time in the West. We mentioned Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Which really, I think Magnificent Seven was the one that really shot him to stardom.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was that and James Coleman and The Great Escape, I think, also was another one that another testosterone fest. But
that was after that, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're gonna do war movies as a genre later on, so I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But
all right.
Okay, so that was my number one. What was your number one?
My number one. Anytime John Ford is directing John Wayne,
oh my gosh,
it's Western candy. It's just wonderful. Well, and I shouldn't say just that, because I'm going to give you my top 2 picks right now because they're both John Ford films.
Okay.
And that's Stagecoach.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked that one as my top one before I realized that it had been colorized. So I picked a black and white film as my number one. So it should tell you something.
Wow,
how good it is. The cast was wonderful, right down to kind of a sleazy, creepy John Carradine, who's kind of, after this woman that's on the coach. And it's just and again, Andy Devine. We were talking about Andy Devine earlier. Wonderful acting. Really, really great storytelling. That movie. I mean, it's so simple, and yet the characters drive it. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. The Quiet Man is my number 2 movie.
Okay.
And again, it's not a Western. It's steeped in Irish culture, which I love because I'm part Irish. And again, Maureen O'Hara, Barry Fitzgerald. Barry Fitzgerald, I was surprised he wasn't in more John Wayne movies. Victor McLaglen was in a lot of them. And he plays her brother, the brother that, he's been avoiding through the whole movie until the big fight at the end.
Right.
And it's just wonderful. It's just a delightful comedy. And that's another thing is John Wayne really knew how to do comedy. He knew how to be the straight guy. He's the Seinfeld to all the other crazy people around him. So he really knew how to do comedy. He had good timing.
Yeah.
So that movie is just a delight to watch. It's It's a little longer than most of his films, but again, it's just such a good story and such good characters, and most of them are actually Irish actors. It's not just people doing Irish accents, and again, he's an American in the midst of all of them, and it's a wonderful story.
Yeah, and it also shows that John Ford could direct other things other than Western as well.
Than Western, yeah.
So the both of them are kind of out of their usual lane. So it just showed that both these men were very versatile as far as their careers and accomplishments. So good for them. Quiet Man almost made my list, but like I said, I decided no, I'm going to go with all Westerns. But it's definitely on my honorable mentions list.
She's smacking you in the face with that poster.
I exactly.
She smacked it right back up there again when you said that.
Yeah.
I just love it. I just love it. Look at it. It's so great. You have to admit it's like the best poster ever.
It is. And that's not the first time that Wayne carries off a woman in his arms in a lot of his movies. So he
Yeah,
does it a lot.
of course.
It's kind of cringeworthy in the fact that it's you women should be at home making dinner for us men, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Well, we're
And
gonna
it's
talk
very
about a movie.
familiar. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
familiar
it
and
is a
it's
fun
fun and
movie. It's a
it's
It is
very
a
very
fun
fun
movie.
movie.
fun and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if we get into the politics of like any movie like before 19 whatever or
Again, in
even
John Wayne
today,
movies, women got spanked.
I know, like we just can't go
Yes.
there because once we go there, we
They
can't
got the
watch any
spanking.
movies anymore. We just can never watch movies again. So we have to
Sometimes
just
by his son, Patrick Wayne.
oh, at least it's not Scott Eastwood.
Has he done any westerns?
No, but
I don't think so.
no, he hasn't. But I was gonna say,
She
of
knows I'm
course,
talking
we
about him.
always
My
have
nose
to
is
do
itching now.
this. Of course, we have to do this. So it just gets to that. Okay, I apologize.
Save that one for the dishonorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I was gonna say something and that's gone. But yeah, it doesn't matter.
So your number
You
two
said
was
you know what it was, Manny. You
What?
said you were gonna put Quiet Man, but you wanted to
I,
stay with westerns,
I
and so
wanted to
you were
stay with
gonna lead
Western.
into the
It's
next.
in it's definitely on my honorable mentions list. Or actually I think I forgot to put it on there, but it's one of my honorable mentions.
okay.
Number two for me, and again, yes, we talked about it last week, but it definitely deserves another mention, and that's Rio Bravo.
Yeah.
This almost made my number one. I mean, it was a toss up between this one and True Grit. Awesome performance
Agreed.
as John T. Chance, the sheriff.
He's a
Who
sheriff.
he's a sheriff and having to deal with Claude Akins as Roy. I think his name's Roy, not Rory, but Roy.
Roy.
Who winds up killing a guy, and he throws him in jail, and he has to deal with Dean Martin as the alcoholic deputy, and and Walter Brennan as the cantankerous older deputy. I got to say my favorite character is Walter Brennan in this movie.
Yeah.
He's just so irascible and just so wonderful, and all the little grumbling that he does, he totally
You're gonna
ad-libbed
get everybody
that.
killed.
Yeah, he ad-libbed most of that, when he
You're
was
gonna
all,
tear this town apart.
yeah.
I can hear him now.
Well, I knew you were going to take a bath. I just didn't know when. Great performance.
We gotta make a
from
new
him.
meme. It's at least it's not as bad as the Gnome Mobile. Which had Walter Brennan singing. Oh,
Well, he sings in Rio Bravo as well.
does
And
he?
plays, yeah.
I don't
Well, there's
remember
that scene. Well, I don't know if did I misremember that? I know he plays the harmonica when with the little musical interlude because you can have Dean Martin and Ricky Nelson in a movie and they're not singing. They sing a couple of songs, so I thought that's pretty cool.
That's funny. That's leading right into my number 3 too.
Oh, but before we get to that,
Right.
gotta mention Angie Dickinson. Oh, she was beautiful.
I'll tell you,
memory.
John Wayne movies have great leading ladies. I gotta admit,
Yes, some of the best.
a lot of growls.
Because I remember my memory of Angie Dickinson is from Policewoman when she was like already
Right.
in her 40s or whatever.
Right.
But then going back and see her in this movie when she was in her 20s.
She was the Rat Pack Grand Dame.
Yeah.
So in the early 60s, yeah, she was in a lot of movies because Frank Sinatra said, "Make it so, baby."
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. and absolutely holds her own up against no innuendo there, against the Duke. Great dialogue between them, back and forth. I love
Did
their
he spank
interplay.
her?
No, he actually didn't spank her. I'm surprised. He kept trying to run her out of. Well, he tried to run her out of town at first, but then he kind of warmed up to her, and so well, when I have to put you under arrest, see, I knew you loved me. So yeah, great performance.
Well, she ain't bad to
and,
look at, so she can hang around.
No, she was. Yep, she was easy on the eyes. So anyway, I just had to mention that. I just had to mention Angie Dickinson. So
There you
go. Before her award-winning turn as Big Bad Mama, Roger Corman.
Big Bad Mama. I forgot about that one. Rest in peace.
So what was your number 3? What was your number 3?
Your number 3. You were the first one, remember?
Oh, that's right. That's right. My number 3 is The Alamo. Big giant historical drama, and I think as a native Texan, I would have been absolutely remiss not to mention this movie.
I would be surprised if you didn't put it on your top 5 list. It didn't make my list, but just for the sheer fact that Richard Widmark was terrible in it. But
yeah, not big on historical accuracy. Not big on historical
and
accuracy.
Wayne, I thought, was kind of I don't know. I mean, it's his movie, but it's really an ensemble movie, and with Lawrence Harvey and all the character actors and everything, and I just didn't think it was strong enough to make the list. I'm sorry. Yeah, I tossed around about that, but then again, I remember Richard Widmark as Jim Bowie, and I was like, no. But you're a Texan. I get it. It's got to be there.
It's got to be there. Exactly. It's got to be on the list, And like I said, not big on historical accuracy. I mean, they took some great liberties.
When he pulled out the Gatling gun, I'm kidding.
When he's mowing them down with the machine, with the Thompson.
Well, get me up to the top of that wall, and I'll use the Gatling gun.
Yeah. I don't think that was available in 1832 or 1836 rather.
Well, you tell later. Santa Anna I'm coming for him.
Yeah.
My name is Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
Or Davy Crockett.
No, it was Davy Crockett. It was Davy
Crockett. Sorry, got my got my guys mixed up.
Yeah, but Lawrence Harvey was way too old to be playing a young Steve. Not Austin. That's a $6 million man.
We'll rebuild him, make him better than he was. Santa Anna's coming. How do you see that far?
My bionic eye.
Lawrence Harvey.
Travis.
I don't know. He was kind of irritating to me too to watch that during that movie. He was kind of a dick. Anyway.
Yeah. But
you're gonna get us all killed. Who's this little guy with the red bow tie? Is there a basement here?
Oh my God. There's no basement at the Alamo.
Across the Mexican border when on his bike.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I was going to mention it in like a nanosecond, but you guys got it. Yes, thank you.
Dun, 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 dun. See, that would have stopped it. Playing tequila, that would have stopped the Mexican army right there. Hey, we gotta dance. Wait a minute.
Who's the guy in the gray suit, man?
Him on the
little girly man.
Oh man, I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel.
Everybody has a big butt. Let's talk about your big butt.
Oh my gosh, that was so accurate. I looked away for a second and I thought you were playing a clip.
Anna, I know you are. What am I?
Oh gosh, it's so accurate. There's dueling Pee-wees.
Dueling Pee-wees.
Better than the Cosbys.
Dueling Pee-wees.
It's better than the dueling Cosbys. Dueling Pee-wees.
When the stars are bright and they shine at night. Deep in the heart of Texas.
And Manny can
Which we actually
confirm
do
that.
that, by the way. We
Yeah,
actually
Manny
do
can
that.
confirm that that's
I can
actually
confirm
how
that.
do
you.
that.
You
Yeah,
start singing that,
Right on
and
the
everybody
street.
claps and stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's how
in
you
fact,
know you're in Texas.
It's the law. Yeah.
It's the law. You have to. I found that out.
And you have to visit the basement and in the Alamo. Um, all right. So what's your number 4
My number 3.
or number 3 rather? Sorry.
And speaking of a great leading lady, Cappuccino. I like my women like I like cappuccino, creamy and. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further.
Oh my God.
North
Okay.
to Alaska. North to Alaska. With, of all people, Fabian.
Fabian.
I never would have thought in my wildest dreams a top 5 pick would have Fabian in it, but there it is. Stuart Granger doing comedy. It defies logic, but there it is. It's a great fun movie. It's a love story. It's a huge muddy fight. He did a couple of those in a couple of films. Big fights with everybody getting all muddy.
Yeah. Yeah. They did that
That's
in
one of them.
McClintock. Yeah.
McClintock's the other one. That's my number 4 pick.
Sorry.
And we get a wonderful Ernie Kovacs performance. This guy was so underrated as a comic character actor.
Yeah.
And he plays a really slimy, sleazy saloon owner who's trying to stake their claim, trying to jump their claim. It's a nice change from the usual cowboy movies that Wayne did. You know, again, it takes place in Alaska. It's about, claim jumping and panning for gold and the wild women that try to get a hold of all that gold. And just a really delightful film steeped in comedy. And I like when John Wayne does comedy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he should have done more of those. Yeah.
What's that?
Fabian. Yeah, he should have done more comedies, I think.
Yeah.
And he made a little one of those little quickie cameo appearances on Laugh-In in one of the episodes.
Yes. Suck it to me.
Yeah. One of those, yeah. I mean, Richard Nixon.
Fuck it to her.
Fuck it to me. So anyway, so yeah, he had a sense of humor. But he got typecast as the rugged He-Man and cowboy and all that. So yeah, you're right. It was nice to see him break out of that box once in a while.
You know what? I feel like we do have to watch him on.
Do you have a clip?
I do.
She has a clip.
I have to do the clip. I don't know why I had it. I don't know why it just went right when I hold on a second. But we do need to see this one. I don't know why.
Is this Laugh-In?
Here it is. Yeah, this is definitely Laugh-In. Hilarious. All right, well then here it is. Wait till we see it. This is a little different because it's not YouTube, but
good for you for grabbing it.
Yeah, just real quick. Can you hear? Let me know you can hear it.
Yeah.
First one that snickers gets a broken face.
And what's bothering you?
Well, I'll tell you what's bothering me. I'm a grown man. You got me all dressed up in this silly bunny outfit.
Well, naturally, you're playing the lead in a bunny sketch.
No, I'm not. I'm an actor. I read the part. It's demeaning and embarrassing, and I won't do it.
Oh, now, come on, dude. There are no bad parts. There are only bad bunnies.
Come on, get the rest of the gang. Come on, gang. Come on.
Yeah, here's
How would you like a punch in your banana?
Oh, all right, easy now.
He got a little violent there. He got a little violent, but that you can't unsee that. That was great.
I think they tried to do the same thing with Paul Simon dressed as a turkey on SNL, but
yeah,
that was actually funnier. This,
yeah,
I mean,
this was much.
Yeah.
More
Oh, I mean, come on.
I'm gonna punch your face in.
First one who snickers gets a punch in the face. That's just great. Yeah, see?
Very violent. Very
violent. Yeah.
Yes, violent bunny. Very violent.
He was on the Lucy show too, or I Love Lucy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But then again, who wasn't?
True.
She
True.
had pretty much everybody on there, even Superman.
Harpo Marx.
Harpo Marx.
William
Oh yeah,
Holden.
they did the mirror thing. Yeah.
Yeah, William Holden.
Yeah.
You know, it would be a great show, and if we did a half an hour show, and we just listed all the people that have been in the Lucy show. That's the show. And then like
And
this
show the
little
clips.
It's like a tribute when they call out the
Tribute
names
to
of the
Lucy.
fallen, you know, but it would be like the names of the Lucys. It'd be great. I'm always producing, guys. I'm a
Yeah.
genius. I'm a total genius.
She's a genius, you
are.
friends.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You are a genius. Don't let anybody tell you different.
I'm a bad bunny. I'm a bad bunny.
You're a bad bunny.
No denying it.
Because there's no bad actors, just bad bunnies.
Just bad bunnies.
words to live
That's
by.
a Dan Rowan line if I ever heard one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, I
Great.
love Rowan and Martin's laugh in. That's comedy.
We should be having, Rory, It's Casual should be Rory Penland's It's Casual. I feel like that should be the official name. Just like Laughing.
No.
Rory Penland's It's Casual.
Now, again, the show is about the guests. So it's all about the guests. So,
Speaking of which, I don't know. I know we've gone totally,
we've gone
tangent,
gone off the rails.
Gone off the rails.
Girls
but
gone wild.
I gotta say, I was just. Well, before I say this, Rory is Big Monster. Is there a playlist on the Cosmos for Big Monster? Because I couldn't find it.
A playlist.
Yeah, where all the episodes are in in their own.
No, it's on the actual channel there. As we do it live, that's when it gets put in there, and that's what we have. And again, whenever I want to run another show, I'll just go find it on YouTube and post the link.
Okay. Well, I just thought, because a lot of other shows are in playlists, and it just makes it easier to find.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, I
maybe if I got episode 7 found, I would figure out.
If only Gamera. If I knew it was coming. I knew it. That's why it came on the screen. I knew it was coming.
If I could get the full list.
Spanking. I could. You know what? So what it is, Rory? But you're right. A playlist would be very nice. It's just you just have to click on. There's like a button. It's a thing. Yeah.
It's like one button. You just boop. I'll throw on a
like
playlist.
It's like create playlist. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually it's save. There's a button that says save, and you click on it, and it says create playlist. There's a plus sign, and you create a playlist. You give it a name like Big Monster Briefing Room, and then you go through all the. It's time consuming because then you go through all the videos. It's gonna be a long
time, yeah, because I got 150.
There's 100 and some episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I Renee, if you give me the password to get into the YouTube, I'll do it.
Oh wow, that's a big commitment. That's a big time commitment. All right, no problem.
I got time.
All right. Okay, right. I'll give it to you.
Very nice. Thank you.
That way.
Thank you very much. That's like a
just
huge
keep some
commitment.
because I want to move some of Two Guys into there's a playlist for Two Guys. I want to move some of the other episodes into that show. So
now that doesn't take it off the original list, right?
No.
No.
Copies
it to another
place. It just copies it to that. Yeah. No. It's still it's still out there. It just creates a copy of it. So all right. Well,
so number 4.
Meanwhile, back to this show.
Back at the ranch.
Now that we've shown
back at the ranch.
I'm technically challenged. Number 4.
Oh, me? My number 4 is The Cowboys.
Okay.
This is one of his later westerns, and a little bit different. Wayne plays a cattle rancher who's trying to move his cattle to market, and the hands that he hired originally turned out to be just low lives and scumbags, and they wind up running off or whatever. And so he winds
up experience,
Yeah.
So guys like that.
Yeah, so he winds up having to grab a bunch of schoolboys he goes to the local school and grabs all the boys, and they become his cowhands. And one of them is a very young Keith Carradine, who, kind of one of them Carradine boys. And it also co-stars Roscoe Lee Brown, and Bruce Dern is in this as the bad guy of the movie, who winds up killing Wayne. I'll go ahead and spoil it.
John Wayne in the back.
Winds up shooting the back, and in fact, before Bruce Dern, he kind of talked to Wayne about it and said, I don't know about this. I said, well, I'm gonna do it, but well, you better be prepared to be one of the most hated men in America. So yeah, for a while there, Dern was kind of persona non grata because he killed the dude, shot him in the back like a dirty dog.
Like a dirty dog.
But it's a wonderful movie.
Like a dirty dog. He died like a dog.
Yeah. And it's funny, I was reading.
Trump is just Joan Rivers. I feel like it's the same person. Trump and Joan Rivers are the same.
Oh my God!
person.
What are you kidding?
It is.
How dare you?
Yeah, see, it's the same thing. A dirty dog.
No, completely different.
Well,
like Harvey Fierstein. That's more like it.
You never see them in the same room together. So
that's very true.
Can we talk? Can we talk about this guy?
It's like the Pepperidge Farm guy is Peter Falk. It's also like 16 other people. You remember, like every time you do the Pepperidge Farm guy, it's like Morgan Freeman.
Why would you call me the Pepperidge Farm guy?
No, no offense, but sometimes when you do Morgan Freeman, it veers off into the
now Morgan Freeman. Yeah, when I do Morgan Freeman, yes, it sometimes sounds like the Pepperidge Farm guy.
Pepperidge Farm guy.
It does. That's what I will agree with.
That's because Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh,
a little higher though. Pepperidge Farm guy's a little higher.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, that was a little low. Yeah,
yes, very low voice. Suitable for narration.
First time I saw him, I was
quite impressed. He's up there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's right. Pepperidge Farm.
Because he's
but
from.
You know what? If there was a playlist and you had to organize it by playlist, Pepperidge Farm guy would be like 13 different actual people. Like it would be in the same playlist. Like Morgan Freeman and Peter Falk. They're similar. They're similar.
No, Peter Falk is not.
Peter Falk is very Pepperidge Farmy.
No, he's not.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I have no idea what you're doing with this.
Okay, so I can't remember.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Yeah, there you go. That's when it's Pepperidge.
One more thing. Just
one more
cookie. Just one more cookie from the Pepperidge Farm.
So I got something in my eye. I'm just going to ask you a question. Is something in my eye? That's terrible.
I'm having trouble seeing.
All right.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
I'm having a little trouble seeing. I'm sorry.
Oh no, we just jumped the shark.
He went there.
We jumped the shark.
Well, it was about time we jumped the shark.
Hey, if Kevin Pollak can do it.
Yeah,
that's right. Kevin Pollak gets away with it.
That used to crack Johnny Carson up. He's like, that thing you do with the eye. Do it again. It's always getting him to do it. I'm sorry.
Man. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Hey man. I got something in my eye. Sorry.
Oh no.
God, this is a John Wayne episode. That's the kicker. Renee keeps taking us off the rails.
I took you off the rails for the Pepperidge Farm guy. Well, I'm sorry. See, I regret it.
This is what I was going to say earlier. Before we went off the rails, I watched It's Casual. When you try to interview Renee, you had her and Tardan and Phipps all together. Talk about off the rails.
Oh yeah.
Well, Tardan doesn't like to be interviewed. Renee definitely doesn't like to be interviewed. She doesn't want people
20
talking
minutes
about her.
into it, and finally got to it because little Miss Genius here kept derailing things, so she didn't want to be interviewed. But it was awesome. I loved it, and we actually got you on camera. Or Rory got you on camera, which you don't do anymore.
I'm a cryptid. I'm
You
like
are a
Bigfoot.
cryptid. You are the mystery.
I'm
You are the
Bigfoot.
mystery that behind the. So anyway, it
I'm
was a
like the
great
Phantom of
episode.
the Opera.
You're
Like if
just
you
a
look at
face
if
lying
you
on a
look at
bed.
me, it's the Phantom of the
Yeah.
Opera. You don't want to see
See,
this. You don't
you
want to
know, we
see
were
it.
talking about whether or not she was real or AI or not. See, now I'm more convinced that she's AI because we don't see her anymore.
But
It's just a voice.
an AI would deny it. So I agree with you. But you know,
Yes.
an AI would absolutely say that
Actually,
it's not.
actually,
How can I
what's
be
happening
AI
is
if
you are you are the Charlie to our little group here. You know, we never saw Charlie in Charlie's Angels. He was just a voice
Oh,
on a speaker
you're my
box, and now
angels.
that's
You're
right.
my
We are your
angels.
angels
you're
now.
my
Yeah.
angels?
Oh, this is beautiful. I love they should
Also, we're
redo
an
it with a
Aerosmith video.
female as Charlie. They should redo
Yeah.
it as a
Yeah.
with the
Female
female, and then
Charlie.
would be guys,
Female
you
Charlie,
cute
yeah.
guys, yeah.
Because Charlie can be,
They can't call them angels though. What would you call it? Charlie's.
It could be angels.
they can still be angel. Man can be angels.
Angels are predominantly masculine in the Bible. So
That's
there you
right.
go.
That's right. There's
Well,
actually
all
they're
right then.
kind of androgynous. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
you guys are adorable. I think we should just do it. I'll
well,
be Charlie. I'm good.
Thank
I'm
you.
good with
Yeah.
it.
And
Yeah.
a female Bosley.
My
And I'll do it like the Pepperidge Farm guy. I'll learn how to
there
do
you
the
go.
accent.
There you go.
All right.
Angel.
See what you should change it. You should change your avatar to just a speaker box
You know
where we
what I
don't even
gotta
see your
change it to?
face.
No, I should
No.
change it to I should change it to like Bigfoot.
There
Like a
you go.
cryptid.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I should do. Edit audio avatar. But this
Yeah.
is the best
You
one.
dressed as Bigfoot.
This is the best one with
That's
Mothra.
right. With you with
With
Mothra.
Mothra.
Me and
Yeah.
Mothra is like the best one though.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
emotion is
Isn't
that?
this supposed
Yeah.
to be a John Wayne show?
Yeah,
Damn it!
sorry. All right, me and Mothra are going. All right.
Where are we anyway? We're number
Number
4, I
4.
think. Okay.
You're number
Well,
4.
my number 4 was the Cowboys. What's your
Okay.
number 4?
So my number 4 was McClintock. I said that earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Again,
That's right.
huge mud fight. That's the one where he says, and we both thought this till today. He says, "I'm not gonna hit you." The hell I'm not. But he doesn't say that. He says, "I haven't lost my temper in 40 years, and I'm not about to now." The hell I'm not. And then he punches him, and the guy goes all the way down the mud slide down into the mud pit. Maureen O'Hara again.
Mhm.
Again, a bunch of the John Wayne regular character actors. Paul Fix, I believe, is in it. A delightful kind of a comedy Western romp.
Oh, and we have a clip.
And I do have the clip, but I wanted to say that you weren't pronouncing the name of the movie properly. It's McClintock. You know, you gotta
You gotta
McClintock.
shout it.
You got to yell
McClintock!
it. McClintock!
Yeah, you have
There
to
you go.
hear the exclamation
Like
point.
McClintock!
That's an exclamation point. Thank you. So just I'm a stickler for that kind of stuff.
You're playing.
The hell I won't. There you
The
go.
hell I won't.
Not so fast, Mr. Boss of the whole country. Unless you want to wear a big hole in your middle.
How long is GW going to let that cheat-chalker push him around?
That cheat-chalker has a sawed-off shotgun.
How do you know she didn't wander off someplace or meet some fella or something?
What are you saying? That I didn't raise my girl right? That she'd wander off all night with some man?
There's a lot of things I'm not saying to you, mister. Well, you got a sawed-off shotgun in my middle. But how do you know this Indian had anything to do with it?
She's gone, ain't she? She's gone.
Pa! Pa! I'm over here! Pa! Been looking for me, Pa?
Where you been, gal?
Young Ben took me for a sunrise ride, and the horse wandered
Hussy.
away.
You come down over there.
But Pa!
She's telling the truth, Mr. McClintock. We wasn't doing nothing.
Well, that's not important right now. The important thing is that you don't draw that hog leg or this will be worse than Dodge City on Saturday night.
You get on back of the wagon. I'll tend to you later. Now for this young whippersnapper.
Now, no harm has been done. And young Ben here is one of the nicest boys in the territory, so just put down that shotgun and
I'll
let's
teach him
forget
to fool with Mike.
Now, We'll all calm down.
Boss, he's just a little excited.
I know. I'm going to use good judgment. I haven't lost my temper in 40 years. But Pilgrim, you caused a lot of trouble this morning. Might have got somebody killed. And somebody ought to belt you in the mouth. But I won't. The hell I will.
Yeah, there it is.
He does say I won't. And he called him
But
Pilgrim.
I won't. The hell I won't.
Great. Yeah.
That escalated so quickly.
It just, yeah. Kind of.
Well, he was poking him in the navel with a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah, I would have.
Who wouldn't react to that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially after 40 years of keeping it all pent up inside. Although I don't believe him there. I think he had lost his temper before. Anyway, great movie. A lot of fun.
It is a great movie, yeah. And a nice reunion with Maureen O'Hara. So
yes.
Now that wasn't a Ford, was it? It was somebody else directed that one.
Yeah, I don't think that was a John Ford.
Oh, I forgot to mention when we talk about Rio Bravo, that one that's actually directed by Howard Hawks.
Yes,
and it was kind of the first of kind of an unofficial trilogy of movies that they did. Rio Bravo, Rio Lobo, and El Dorado.
Mm-hmm.
Although El Dorado, I always felt like that was a remake of Rio Bravo. I mean, you had the drunken deputy, you had the kid singer, except it's Robert Mitchum instead of Dean Martin. So yeah, it's not a bad movie. It just feels kind of.
El Dorado made my honorable mention list because it gave James Caan one of his first starring roles.
And James Caan, yeah, it's on mine too. But so okay,
your number 5.
So my number 5 is The Shootist. Wayne's last movie.
You like the later John Wayne movies?
This is I do actually.
When he's old and riddled with cancer.
Yeah. And I feel like because he knew he was dying. He knew this was the end. And I think that lends such weight to his performance, as this character who's also dying and he's kind of staving it off, drinking the laudanum. And a great performance from Lauren Bacall, and of course Jimmy Stewart, as the doctor, and a young Ron Howard, little baby Howard, who would go on to work for Roger Corman and do a lot of movies with him.
Teen Howard.
A teen Howard, yeah.
Baby Howard is the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
All right, now Opie, get on over here. Come talk to Barn.
Yeah. So
you gotta come over here.
So this was kind of a transitional film for him, as he's getting out of that phase and into like I said, being a teenager and doing more grown up roles. But yeah, it's very elegiac, very you feel that it's not just his end, but it's kind of like the end of the Old West, the end of that whole era of not only the real Old West, but of Western movies as well.
Right.
Kind of not, I want to say the death knell of it. I mean, there were other Westerns after this, but it was certainly not the kinds of Westerns that John Wayne was doing in his prime, like all the ones that we talked about earlier. So I don't know. I just felt like that kind of brings it full circle.
Again, younger people like Clint Eastwood were taken over,
right? Exactly.
In that regard, in that respect.
Yeah.
And again, we'll talk about the dishonorable mention list. We're going to talk about that a little bit more too, because Wayne tried to fight back by doing like Clint Eastwood type films, which didn't really work.
No.
But we'll talk about it in a minute.
Brannigan.
Brannigan was one of the better endeavors because at least they went to London and had some great London actors, British actors involved. Anyway, McHugh.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Renee, if you could look up McHugh car chase for me,
How do you spell that?
just MCQ. McHugh.
MCQ.
Yeah,
This
much
was
cute. Yeah.
this was his attempt at trying to match up with Dirty Harry. They even dressed him like Dirty Harry in some of the scenes, and the cannon, the guns sound the same in the movie, and the car chase. It's just like, oh my god,
Car
look at
chase through
Grandpa in the car
Seattle?
chase.
Through Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. Hold on. Oh gosh, I don't know what we're in for here, but guys, we're gonna
But
figure it
again,
out.
look at how frail John Wayne looks during this car chase.
Take off!
It sounds like Dirty Harry's 44.
That is like a 38.
Listen to that music, will you?
Oh yeah.
And they're in like a diaper truck.
And very.
John Wayne's coming after you in a GT.
So it's Dirty Harry's bullet.
Are you crazy?
Karen. But I just love the reaction shots of Wayne in the windshield. He just looks like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
What am I doing here?
1970s wah-wah music.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to sit here in traffic. I'm going to break the law, damn it.
Oh my God. The music is by Elmer Bernstein.
Is it now?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
That's funny.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So that's McHugh.
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah. And I actually saw it in the theater. But it's so forgettable. I totally forgot about this.
It's they're trying too hard to be Dirty Harry, and it's just not working.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, retire this guy.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
Steve McQueen was kind of older when he did
Bullet.
playing the bounty hunter and Bullet, but he didn't seem even. Yeah. This is a terrible miscasting of John Wayne.
Yes.
So, wow.
Okay. So
thank you for those memories.
We were talking last
and then
week
Rory,
about
Rory, this is the other one that you had, Rory.
Okay. I can't. I thought this was from True Grit, but he doesn't have a patch on his eye.
How about waking up?
It's Rio Lobo.
Oh, is it Rio Lobo?
Rio Lobo.
How did she get here?
Why don't you ask her?
There's an actor.
Hey, you. How'd you get here?
Why don't you ask her?
Oh, when you were asleep, it was cold.
Well, why me? Why didn't you pick on him?
Well, he's young, and I thought that. Well, you're older. You're comfortable.
Comfortable?
That's all I
Been
could
called a
think of.
lot of things, but comfortable. I'll say this. You're a lot better than a hot brick to keep a man warm.
Nice to be appreciated. Is that coffee I smell?
It is.
And I've got such morning wood like you've never had before.
And there's my brick pressing up against you.
We went there. We
There's
jumped
my
the
hot
shark,
brick
and then we jumped it
pressing
again.
up against you, doll.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love how he was irritated to wake up next to the most beautiful woman. Like he was pissed off about it. What the hell?
Yeah, his line was, "Why did you pick on me?"
And I'm
Because
like,
you're
I don't
older.
know if that's picking up.
Because you're older and you don't have testosterone anymore. That's basically what she said. But again, all this time, I mean, I haven't seen that since I was a kid, and I always thought he said, "Well, I've been called a lot of dirty names in my time, but I've never been called comfortable." And no, it wasn't that at all. He said, "Comfortable. I've never been called comfortable."
Is that Jennifer O'Neill? I think it's Jennifer O'Neill.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking Patricia O'Neill. I'm sorry. She was in another movie. Anyway.
Yeah. No, Jennifer. Yeah.
Last week we were talking about. I remembered a movie that I thought was really exciting when I was a kid. That had a giant octopus at the end of it. Whereas he was in like a deep sea diver outfit, and they went down for like treasure or something. And again, totally misremembered the whole thing. And you were like, "Oh, that's probably Wake of the Red Witch." And I was like, yeah, that's probably it. So I went and watched Wake of the Red Witch. Oh my God. That is the weirdest freaking John Wayne movie. I mean, just creepy, weird. Who's the guy? Something Adler is the actor's name. He's this guy that's got like a revenge thing against John Wayne in that. But just a really weird movie. And that's not it. Yes, John Wayne at the end is in a diving suit on a ship that's on a reef. It's teetering on a reef, just like this other one. But the one that made number 5 on my list was called Reap the Wild Wind.
Oh.
Again, much better movie, much better villain. In the fact that Raymond Massey is just nasty. He's not creepy. He's just nasty. I mean, he is. Oh man. Any villain you've ever seen in a John Wayne movie times 10, this guy. He's claimed he's wrecking ships to get their cargo or to get at least 50% of their cargo. And that's how he's making his money. He's killing people just to get the cargo off the ships. He's causing them to wreck on the shores and stuff. And there's this love triangle between John Wayne and the leading actress, who's kind of like Scarlett O'Hara light. and Ray Milland. Ray Milland is in it. And again, down at the last part of the movie, they decide to go down onto the ship, which is again teetering on a reef. And they say that I don't know how they know this, but there's a giant squid. It's not an octopus, it's a squid, a giant squid on the ship. And sure enough, the giant squid attacks Ray Milland and John Wayne. And again, John Wayne doesn't make it. In the other movie, and I'm sorry I'm spoiling here, Wake of the Red Witch, he goes down with the ship. It just goes over the reef with him on it. And in the end of this one, he tries to save Ray Milland's life, even though he's kind of in with the bad guy, or the bad guy is trying to give him an option to, make money, and he's going to go with it. And he decides he does the right thing, and he saves Ray Milland, and then he ends up getting killed with his lines get cut. When he's fighting with the giant squid. So Reap the Wild Wind, much better movie.
Yeah.
And again, wow. Raymond Massey is a really good actor.
Oh, yeah.
And, he actually was able to pull off the Karloff part in Arsenic and Old Lace, which says a lot, about your ability to act.
Yeah. Paulette Goddard is the
Paulette Goddard, yes.
In that one. And in
and there's a Hattie McDaniel kind of character in that. Oh my God. You thought Hattie McDaniel was bad and cringeworthy? Oh man.
Oh boy.
And Ray Milland does this thing where he's talking through the dog's mouth. Where it's like doing a ventriloquist thing with the dog. That's kind of weird, but
yeah.
But the other one, oh my God. Yeah.
Luther Adler is the guy you were talking about.
Luther Adler. I couldn't read it here, so my writing was too small. And it's a little dark on the edge here. But yeah, Luther Adler. He's got this like General Kurtz thing set up in the Philippines where everybody kind of like worships him, and he's the guy, and he runs everything, and he wants to get revenge on John Wayne. And that actress Goddard falls in love with John Wayne. And her mom's trying to set her up with Ray Milland. And the ending is really kind of disappointing because she does end up with Ray Milland, but it's like for all the wrong reasons. And so yeah, and John Wayne is like the hero of the film, but he's dead. so there it is. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm watching myself here, and it looks like I have a red wig now instead of a hat. So I look like a little Dutch boy. If you look at it the wrong way, it's like I'm a little Dutch boy. I'm going to put my finger in the dike.
And they hate that when you do that.
So that's my number 5.
All right.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Yay.
And
okay.
we are over an hour. Oh my God.
Well, we started a little later.
Yeah.
Well, what am I saying? One of my honorable mentions is another John Wayne comedy, Donovan's Reef.
Okay.
And Wayne plays a saloon owner. He has a place. They live on an island, a tropical isle, and it's a little disappointing. I mean, it's still a good movie, and it did make my honorable mention list. But Lee Marvin is in this movie, and I don't even know why, because he really doesn't get much to do. You think he's going to be a bigger part of the movie because it starts off, they have this rivalry. They were born on the same day, and they wind up always having this fight on their birthday. And in fact, Marvin's character is the first one we see in the movie, but then he just kind of is just there in the background. He becomes a bartender at the bar, and I mean, yeah, he has some funny, some little funny bits throughout the movie, but he never really plays a big part, and so that's a little disappointing to me because I'm a big Lee Marvin fan. But the rest of the movie is about this young woman who is about to inherit this shipping company, but she's estranged from her father, and her father's a doctor on this island. She comes to the island, and he has these kids who are mixed race because he married this island woman, and so on and so forth. And they're afraid that she's going to be a bigot because she's from Boston. And anyway, there's this whole big plot. that's basically the plot. And so they pretend that the kids are actually Waynes, and at first she's just irritating and kind of unlikable, but she kind of warms up after a while. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad movie. I mean, it's a fun little romp. It's not very serious. It's not as good as the one that it's not as good as The Quiet Man, but it's not as bad as Death Smoochie. So there's that.
So there's that.
Some of my other honorable mentions are
McHugh is as bad as Death Smoochie.
Yeah, McHugh definitely deserves that. Anyway, so what are some of your honorable mentions?
Fort Apache, where Henry Fonda plays an absolute total douchebag.
Yeah.
Victor McLaglen is in it. I gotta point out, Ben Johnson is in a lot of John Wayne movies.
Yeah,
and he's always good, no matter what kind of character he's playing. He's always a good side character, a sidekick, what have you. He's always good. Ben Johnson really doesn't get a lot of credit where he deserves it. And Shirley, I fell in love with Shirley Temple in this film because she was a teenager, and oh my God, did she grow up nice? Oh man. On the good ship Lollipop. She is adorable in this.
Yeah.
So She Wore a Yellow Ribbon is another good cavalry film with John Wayne where he's retiring, which is a really good angle. It's a different twist. So they actually make him look older, which is funny. I mean, they could have done this in his later years and it would have worked really good. But they actually like put gray in his hair and everything, made him look older because he's retiring. He's like 1 week away from retiring, less than 1 week away from retiring. And there's like a huge Indian movement at that time. So again, Victor McLaglen, Ben Johnson, the usual cast members that you see in these kind of things.
Right.
Rio Grande. Ben Johnson again, Victor McLaglen, J. Carroll Nash. They threw in J. Carroll Nash out of nowhere. And again, Maureen O'Hara. We mentioned El Dorado. I threw in, just as honorable mention, I threw in Sands of Iwo Jima. Of all of the military films that he did, it's propaganda. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, this one, it doesn't seem so much. I mean, you got John Agar, who's in a lot of those films. Richard Jekyll, who's in a lot of his films. Forrest Tucker, who was in a couple of his films. Both Forrest Tucker and Richard Jekyll came back for Chisholm, which not one of the better films, but again, if you don't have anything else to do and you've seen all the other John Wayne movies, Chisholm is okay, Dishonorable mentions, only because Michael Pate, as the head of the Indians, has such horrible dialogue and terrible delivery, where he takes this woman is living out in the Apache like area by herself. Her husband's dead. She's got her son, and they're just living out there alone. And John Wayne rolls through and says, "Yeah, no, this is the Indian territory. You better get your ass out of here, little lady." And she's like, "Well, I'm happy out here, and we haven't worked out a deal with the Indians." Then the Indians show up, and they start terrorizing, and the little kid is like defiant. So the Indian, played by Michael Pate, the head of the Indians, like falls in love with this kid, says he is an Apache brave. He cuts his finger and mixes it with the kid's blood. We are blood brothers now, and we will teach you to be Apache warrior. And I'm like, oh my God, can they write better dialogue for these Indians? Come on now. So yeah, it just, every scene he shows up in, and starts trying to bond with the kid, he's just like, yeah, it's just cringeworthy. And a lot of the guys in his Apache troop or group are wearing pants, but he's like naked from the waist down, which makes it even more cringeworthy, creepier. But again, he comes back in McClintock, and he's great. He's wonderful. So it just goes to show you, better writing and better directing, makes all the difference. The greatest story ever told. All this hype about John Wayne makes a cameo as a gladiator soldier, or a Roman soldier.
Is a Roman soldier, yeah.
Oh my God! And do we have that clip, Renee?
So which one is it?
It's the greatest story ever told. John Wayne's cameo in that. He's a Roman soldier.
Oh,
he has
okay.
one line.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it.
And they made all this big hype about it. That he was part of the cast, and I don't even think. I think it's a voiceover. I don't even think he's there. I think it's somebody else in the outfit. He just does a voiceover.
What's the name of the movie?
The Greatest Story Ever Told. It's about Jesus.
Yeah. Hold on.
Jesus is up on the cross, and all these reaction shots, and then they cut over to this one soldier, Roman soldier.
Oh, I found it. And
it's John Wayne's voice.
Okay.
And you gotta see this. This is terrible.
Okay. It's not meant to be funny, right? It's meant to be
it's not real. Supposed to be.
No. I mean,
okay. This is going to be
Cecil B. DeMille.
Okay. Let's see.
Let's
all serious.
Truly, this man was the Son of God.
And that was it. That was his big cameo.
And
why
you
is
just
he
can't not
drunk? He sounded drunk. He was slurring it. That was horrible. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Big mistake.
But they couldn't have had him redo it and just say, don't be drunk when you do it. It was like, what was that?
Truly, this man
no.
was the Son of God. Oh, man. Sorry.
Maybe they only had him for that one day to record. I don't know.
And again, in just the audio room, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
So it had to be pointed out. Brannigan is also on the list of dishonorable.
Oh.
It was better than McHugh.
Yeah, but
it wasn't as bad as Death of Smoochie. As John Vernon as one of the bad guys in it, not as bad as Death of Smoochie. I could never remember the one from Attenborough from Richard Attenborough, right? It's from The Great Escape and Jurassic Park.
Richard Attenborough, yeah.
Yeah, he plays the head of the Scotland Yard that teams up with John Wayne, who's come over from America. And,
teach those limeys how to do it.
We're gonna get John Vernon and take him back to Animal House, so he can do a Western with my rival Clint Eastwood. So, Outlaw Josie Wales. So that's it for my list.
Okay. Well, pretty much the only one that's missing from my list is I got to mention Hellfighters, where he plays a real life person, Red Adair, who fought oil well fires.
Oil well fires, yeah.
Very, very exciting, very action packed movie. We already talked about The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance last week, so that was on my list. You mentioned She Wore a Yellow Ribbon and McClintock, so that pretty much rounds off, and of course The Quiet Man. So didn't really have dishonorable mentions, although McHugh and Brannigan probably would have been on that list. So there you go. All right, so we got through the show.
What are we doing next time?
Next time we are going to talk about an actress. We're going to get a little bit more somebody a little more contemporary. We're going to talk about Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
She's done several movies, some from a young age to today. So I thought, yeah, we need to do somebody a little more contemporary. And so that's it.
And an actress.
And an actress, yep. I love the hat. That's such a great hat.
This hat is cool because I can shape it to pretty much anything I want. You know.
Yeah, it's gotten.
If I want to do more of a adventurer hat, I can go that way, or I can flip it up, and that's my cavalry hat.
And then you become Manny Divine.
Dutch boy.
The little Dutch boy, yeah. Yodelay.
That's what I like about this hat.
Yeah, it's a great hat. Yeah. All right, Miss Renee. Anything else coming up?
Nope. I think we've got it. I think that'll do it. We jumped the shark both ways, so I think that we jumped it one way, then we jumped it back, which means we reversed it. So I think we didn't jump the shark.
The reversed shark jump.
Reverse shark jump. It's a surfing move.
It's going to be an Olympic event in next time. So in 2028. So. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode of. Or do you want to? Well, no, let's not do that. So next week, Anne Hathaway. Thank everyone for watching, and until next time. Thanks for watching this episode of Two Guys and Sometimes a Gal Talking About Movies. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to get future episodes.